Blessings and peace, and welcome to the Ice Turner experience. It's something you can't define, you can only experience. In John 2, verse 14, and I found in the temple the introspective mind, those that sold oxen and sheep and doves, the changers of money, and Christ, who had made a scourge of small cords, drove them out of the temple, which is the body and mind. And the sheep and the oxen, and poured out the changers' money, and overthrew the tables, and said unto them, the ego that sold doves, take these things hence, make not my Father's house our mine, a house of worldliness, of merchandise, which is materialism and superficiality, of the ego, which is primitive of sin. In this process, we can see the Christ, or the anointed being, or Christos, that we have the ability to have a greater consciousness, which is our light that is over the world. We also see that we have this inside of us as melanated beings, which is that ability to be better than what we are currently and how we are acting right now in the moment, through the suggestion and influence that we see around us. We also see that we have the ability of Christ and this misled teaching, which is in most congregations, that gave this image of Christ as an individual of God, which we were never separate from, because as below, so is above, as within, so is without. So how is it possible that we can be separate from God, as we were created as little gods, reflecting the image of the living God, or light? So I believe we were conditioned and indoctrinated to believe that we are less than Christ, when Christos dwells in our third ventricle, which he did not believe. He believed that we held inside of us the same divinity as we see in Matthew 14:25 to verse 30. And in the fourth watch of the night, Jesus went unto them, walking on the sea, our state of unconsciousness. And when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were troubled, saying, it is a spirit. And they cried out for fear. But straightway Yahshua spoke unto them, saying, be of good cheer, it is I, be not afraid. Remember in the part of the New Testament where he says he didn't give you the belief of fear, but gives you power, love, and a sound mind. And Peter answered unto him and said, Lord, if it be thou, bid me come unto thee on the water. Come into our state of ignorance, our state of fear, our state of unconsciousness. And he said, come. And when Peter, our lower self, was come down out of the ship, our body, he walked on the water, our unconsciousness. And he said, come. And when Peter, us, was come down out of the ship, he walked on the water to go to Yeshua. But when he saw the wind, the boisterousness, the ego, the arrogance, which is fear masqueraded, he was afraid and beginning to sink into his ignorance, into his fear, into a state of unconsciousness. And he cried, saying, Lord, save me. Like Christ, or Christos, our higher selves, Peter, our lower us, was able to walk on the water when he accepted the truth. But unfortunately, he sank in fear. So we have the ability with no hesitation or doubt. We just have to doubt our own doubt without hesitation. See, that faith, that substance of hope, believing in the evidence of something that is not seen in our primitive state, which is greater life energy over fear, which hinders us. See, once we accept our divine heritage, we realize fear is only primal instinct that can controlled by our higher self, which is Christos. See, we have to get to a place that we accept that we are the co-creator of his glory and reject the fear and the ignorance, the things of life, the vicissitudes of reality, and the condition of the world, in order to be like God. He says, to be holy, because I am holy. To be that light, because I'm that light. So you are him on earth.